So, when they announced Season 6 and 7, they also announced Jutsu Packs. They said this is going to fall on the staggering months that the DLCs don't come out. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So, let me know in the comments, that's today's anime trivia. What Elder Kage DLC jutsu would you like? What jutsu do you want from an Elder Kage? But yeah, in today's video, that's basically what we're going to be talking about. The jutsu packs, the jutsus that you're going to be getting. Who should you probably not expect to get some jutsu from these DLC packs? But if this is something you might be interested in, stay tuned in the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those nice things. And let's go ahead and hop straight into this content.
Just to lay out your own domain. Wait, so that was the best you can do, Austin. Iki ga kusei.
So in the beginning, I asked y'all what jutsu would you like. The jutsu that I would like is probably what's not going to come, because I just don't think that Shinobi Striker could do it. But personally, I would like Yagura's mirror reflection jutsu, where he can send the jutsu back to you. The reason why I don't think this is going to work in Shinobi Striker, because it's not really a reflection. More so, it sees what jutsu is coming, it copies that jutsu and sends it out, and then it cancels out. And I just don't know if Shinobi Strikers has the capabilities of doing something like that. But, so one thing that I'm going to say, from what you read, you see that it says Elder Reborn Kage. This is meaning that it's probably the reanimated Kage. I don't think it's going to be any Kage that weren't reanimated during the war arc. So you can count out people like Raikage A, Darui. I don't think these jutsus are going to come from any of them. I got a good idea of who the jutsus are going to come from, and I'm pretty sure these are going to be 6 normal ninjutsu, because it says ninjutsu, so it's not going to be ultimates. I think it's just going to be ninjutsus. I think if it was going to be ultimates, they would have said like secret techniques or something like that. I think that each class is going to get at least 1 jutsu, and I think that 2 classes are going to get 2 jutsu, which is going to be attack and range types. Of course attack, because attacks always get pleased, that's where all the money comes from. And then range types, because like I said, every other DLC pack has gotten about two class DLCs besides range types since we've been doing this 5 DLC thingy. So who are the people that you should expect to come through? So when you go through the villages, there were 6 different Mizukages, but the only ones that actually got reanimated was just Yagura and also Gengetsu Hozuki. So the 2nd Mizukage and also the 4th Mizukage. As far as Hokages, this is going to be a little bit of a bad one, but I don't think any Hokages are coming, because even though the Hokages were reanimated, we already have a DLC for every single Hokage for the most part. Besides, I guess you could say Hokage version of Kakashi, but I'm pretty sure that we won't get any Hokages for these jutsus. As far as with the Tsuchikages, the only one that actually got reanimated was Mu. And this is the one that I think we'll probably be getting some jutsu from, is Mu. When we move over to the Raikages, the only one that was reanimated was the 3rd Raikage, A. If you didn't know, every single Raikage is named A, besides Darui, which is kind of crazy. It's always, the A and then the B counterpart. It's weird. And then when we move over to the Kazekages, the only ones that were technically reanimated, you can say that also Sasori's. You could also say that the 3rd Kazekage, whose name we don't know, was reanimated, and also the 4th Kazekage. But I'm actually excluding the 4th Kazekage. I don't think we're going to get anything from Raza. So I know you might think I'm crazy, but yes, I mean it. So no jutsu from Hokage, and I'm predicting they're going to skip over Raza, because Raza was Gaara's dad, and pretty much for the most part he uses gold dust, but it's pretty similar to Gaara's jutsu, so I don't think it's really worth adding anything from him into the game. But this could be where I go wrong, because if you add it up, there were 6 reanimated Kage for the most part that weren't 6 reanimated Kage that weren't Hokages, and Raza would be the 6th one, but I'm counting him out, and I'm gonna say that one Kage is going to bring 2 jutsu. So when we start off with the first jutsu, I think we're gonna get 2 jutsus from the 2nd Mizukage, Gengetsu. And the first one is going to be the Summoning Giant Clam Jutsu. I think this one's gonna have a 25-second cooldown, and I think this is going to come for attack types. And what this is gonna be is the user summons a giant clam that sprays out mist. Enemies caught in the mist have their secret technique gauge slowly drained with their controls reversed. Allies within the mist are not allowed to be locked onto. Now I know this is a lot for a normal jutsu, which is why I think that this is not going to be a moving jutsu. It's going to be stable, and the cooldown could be 30. And the reason why I said that you can't lock on during the mist, if you remember what the clam really does, it creates mirages, and I think that this effect of not being able to lock on would kind of simulate the mirage thingy where you can't really lock on. So the second jutsu that I think that Gengetsu is going to bring to us is going to be the Summoning Steaming Danger Tyranny Ninjutsu. And I think this is going to be a 30-second cooldown, and this is going to come for the range types. And what this one is going to be, the user summons a chibi clone version of themselves. This clone will fight on the battlefield with the user for 20 seconds. When the clone takes damage, the clone's size expands. After taking a certain amount of damage, or after the time is expired, the clone will explode, damaging all within the area. So if you remember from the anime, this is the clone that popped up. It was the steam clone, and it kept just exploding over and over again. This is what I pretty much think this will be. They've shown that they can make other entities that attack people, and they just haven't done it yet. They haven't done puppets. I think this would be a good time for them to bring in a jutsu that moves around and attacks for you, because this is very similar to the Sacred Mirror drones and also Datara's jutsus that you see whenever you're doing the VR missions. They can obviously make things that can attack people. I think this is when they actually do it. So we move over to the next Kage. It's going to be the third Kage, and the jutsus that I think he's going to bring, I think the first one is going to be the Iron Sand Hammer, which is just going to be a ninjutsu. I think this is going to be for defense types, and it's going to have a 13-second cooldown. And what it's going to be, I think it's going to be similar. So the way this is going to work is the user summons a giant iron sand hammer to smash enemies. Upon impact, enemies have their defense reduced and guards broken. This attack damages a wide area. So I think it's going to be similar to Laughing Buddha and Sand Shower, where it just pops up on the person, but it's going to be like an iron hammer that smashes down with an area effect, breaks guard, does the stuff like that. I think this is the best thing we could bring. They could bring something, defensive, but I feel like we already have Sand Shield, Susanoo Armor, Sukan Hakona. We already have all these defensive jutsus for defense types, so I think they're going to bring something that's going to be more attack heavy for the third Kage. We move over to the next Kage. It's going to be the third Raikage, A, and I think he's going to bring lightning style Black Lightning Circuit. I think this is going to have an 18-second cooldown, and it's going to be a range type. And the reason why you're hearing the black light, and if you don't remember, the third Raikage is actually the person who taught the Black Lightning style to Darui. So the way this jutsu is going to work, the user channels Black Lightning to strike opponents. Enemies hit are paralyzed and have their defense reduced. This attack can chain to strike multiple enemies. So I think this is going to be similar to how Inferno style flame control works, where the burning, it goes to other enemies, but except it's going to be with lightning, and you also stun them. I think this will be a pretty good jutsu, and this will actually bring a pretty powerful lightning style jutsu to simulate the third Raikage. We move over to the next Kage. It's going to be the Tsuchikage Mew, and his jutsus were pretty difficult. But he's also pretty similar to Inoki with some of the things. But what he excelled in was also being able to erase his chakra signature and also chakra perception. He was basically a sensory type. So his jutsu, I believe, would be the Fission Technique. I think I said that right. Fission Technique. And how this would work, I think this is going to be for healers. And I think the cooldown for this one would also probably be around 30, maybe about 25-30 seconds. The user splits and creates a weaker clone of themselves. This ability can be used mid-attack. Enemies' target locks are focused to focus on the clone. The user cannot be locked onto by enemies in this state. The user's defense is reduced while in this split state. The clone disappears after taking enough damage or after 15 seconds. So this is going to be similar to Gentle Fist Body Blow, Flying Raijin, and also 100 Healings, where it's a combo breaker where you can get out of combos. That's why I say you can activate it mid-strike. Because you remember in the anime, Mu made a clone whenever Naruto hit him with the Rasengan. But the reason why I said it's going to make you weaker is because in the anime, when he splits, his power is split. So that's why I feel as though your defense should be increased, but it's not going to be easy for people to hit you because they're not going to be able to lock on. So this is more so going to be like an escape technique. Maybe if you're a healer and you got the flag and you're trying to get away, it's going to be very hard for people to hit you if they can't lock onto you. And then we move over to the next one. This is going to be the last Kage that's going to bring some jutsu. It's going to be the fourth Mizukage, and that's going to be my boy Yagura. And what I think he's going to bring, like I said, I wanted him to bring the water mirror technique, but I just don't think it's going to work. So what I think he'll do is the coral palm. And the way that this is going to work, the user charges and strikes an opponent with a coral infused punch. Upon additional input, the enemy will grow coral on their body and be restricted from movement for a period of time, with their movement speed and defense reduced. I feel like this is perfect for attack types because, you know, they give them a lot of striking jutsus. So this would be the second attack type jutsu. It's just basically going to be like a lunge. You hit them, and then with a second input, you can make the corals bloom, and it stuns them for a little bit. So you can do, like, you know, a combo connector or something like that. And like I said, I think this is going to be similar to the super weight and boulder, where it's like the charge and the hit. But these are the jutsus that I'm predicting, and I know I'm jumping on a ledge saying that I don't think that Gaara's dad is going to come, but I'm very excited to see what they do with these jutsu packs. But let me know what y'all think about my descriptions. I know some of these jutsus are probably a little bit crazy, but I guess this is more of like a wish list than I guess a full prediction, but I'm pretty sure our jutsus will come from these characters. I'd be highly surprised if it came from anybody else, since it's Elder Reborn. But let me know in the comments what you think about these jutsus. Who do you think we're getting jutsus from, and who's excited for Minato? I'm gonna see y'all next time, man. We out.